Welcome back to the USL Championship Final press conference. I am pleased to now introduce our guests from Louisville City. We have head coach Danny Cruz, midfielder and captain Paulo Del Piccolo, and we'll do the same as we did with San Antonio. We'll start with an opening statement from each of you, and then we'll go to the media for questions.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having us. We are extremely excited about this opportunity. It's been a long journey to get to this point, but we're really looking forward to representing our club, our city, and thankful for this opportunity.
Yeah, I would just echo what Danny said. For us, it's just an awesome opportunity, and we're really excited to be here and can't wait for tomorrow night.
First things first, how are you liking San Antonio?
Been here quite a few times. I really enjoy this city. My wife's from Houston, so.
Okay. I saw you spent some time around the Houston Dynamo there for a bit, so I'm sure it's good to be back. Not sure if you were expecting it to be this cold. I don't think we were, at least.
We got out to training this morning to a couple inches of snow. Thought we were getting to some warmer weather, but it's a little bit better than Louisville right now in the weather.
So you recently became head coach, but you were assistant coach for a minute there, so kind of around the same squad. But talk to me a little bit about how you have been able to add your personal touch to the squad and how it feels just being back in the finals again.
Yeah, I think I talk about this a lot. One of the best parts about making it to the final was another week of being able to work with this group of men that I get to. I'm extremely humbled every day I get to go to work. I'm thankful for the opportunity that I've been given. I think when you look at the mold of the group, you're right. There's a lot of guys that were here when I was an assistant. I think that's really helpful with regard to relationships and going through ups and downs throughout a season. And I think I can say, you know, as I said at the start, it's been a long journey, but I wouldn't have wanted to go through it with a different staff or different men, that's for sure.
Any thoughts on Carlson Bone and not having him available for this match?
Yeah, I think it's difficult when you lose a player like him. Corbin's been a crucial piece to what we've tried to do this year. We're certainly going to miss him, but there's one thing that's happened all year this year when players have been out, whether that be through injury or suspension. We've had players step up, and tomorrow night's another opportunity to do that. And I'm confident in everybody in that locker room.
So you haven't had a chance to play San Antonio yet, and Paulo, you can answer this as well. Why do you think this is going to be a really tough matchup, just based on what you've seen or observed? What is so tough about San Antonio FC?
Yeah, they're an extremely well-coached team. They're a disciplined team. They're difficult to break down. Their press is very good, and they have a lot of quality in transition. So they have the amount of points that they have for a reason. We have nothing but respect for them. But we've shown all year on the road and at home that we're a difficult team as well. I'm confident in our group. I have been all season, and we know we're up against a good opponent, a well-coached opponent. And you know, like anybody in this league, we never take anybody lightly. Certainly not the team that finished with the most points in the league.
Do you have anything to add?
No, I mean, I think that sums it up. I mean, when you look at them, you know, from front to back, they have weapons up front. They're very good defensively. So for us, you know, no one gets to this game without having a really, really good team. And so they're a very good team that we take very seriously. And it's obviously going to be a good game tomorrow night.
Do you have anything to say about your playing styles? Similar, different, complementary? Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think they're a little bit different. But I certainly think you have two teams that know what it takes to win games in this league. I think, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to critical moments tomorrow night. And obviously, you know, whoever makes more of those is going to end up lifting the trophy. You know, their style's different than ours, but there's nothing wrong with that. As I said, I have a lot of respect for the way that they play. And, you know, I know I've repeated myself numerous times. You don't get that many amount of points if you're not doing something right.
Paulo, you're the team captain. Just talk a little bit about what you have to do to step up in moments like this and what you have to do as well to ensure that your team does the same.
I mean, for me personally, I think that's something that what I needed to do has been something that goes on all season, trying to get the team ready for moments like this and build the culture of how we act on a weekly basis. And the process shouldn't change from week one to the final week. So for me, as a captain, what I'm trying to do to step up to a moment like this is build a team and build guys' characters, and especially the younger guys, teach them how to be pros and share some of my experience with them to make sure that when these opportunities come, they're ready for it. And so I don't think there's anything this week that needs to be done, but rather, kind of how a bunch of us older guys behave and act in the locker room throughout the year.
Coach Danny, this is Roberto from the Striker. Alan Marcino was just here talking to us, and he talked a lot about how strong the organization, overall the sports organization is. But I know very well your organization, and I don't think you're that far behind or anything. What could you talk about the ownership group and the structure that they give you to get to the point that you are now?
Yeah, I think we're extremely fortunate to be with the club that we are with. Our ownership group and John Neese, Chris Harding, our entire board, every single day do everything they can to make sure that we are put in a position to be successful. When you look at the investment in our academy, when you look at the investment in our training facility, when you look at the investment in our stadium, we have one of the best ones in the entire country, whether you talk about any league. And we have that because we have people that believe in building the community. We have that because we have people that believe in infrastructure and building an academy. And every day I come to work, I'm humbled that I get to work for an organization like this, because in my opinion, it's one of the best in the country. We do things the right way. We have the infrastructure like anybody in the country, and it's led by our ownership group and obviously all the way through the organization. So, if you haven't been to Louisville and seen what we're doing there, it's special, and it's a special thing to be a part of.
Paulo, I could, at the beginning of the interview here, you called coach by his first name, which is not common, right?
Yeah.
How much of him being an assistant coach and becoming the head coach helped you guys? It looks like having this great bond.
Yeah, I think there's a few things that have led to the relationship that myself and especially some of the older players have with Danny, and that is first and foremost, when he came in as an assistant coach, you're automatically going to have more of a rapport with someone, but also the way he treats us and the way that the respect that he shows for us, it just garners nothing but respect for him. And we love the way he manages the players. We love the way he goes about training every day, and so for that, I mean, it's just a ton of respect, I think, that all of the players have for him, not just professionally, but personally as well.
This is, I guess, for both of you. I'll start with Danny. You've had a lot of young players step up here in the late part of the season and the playoffs. Obviously, Joshua Winder has been consistent all year. Now his brother Elijah stepping up. Can you just talk about those young players and how they've handled these situations from whether it's a mental or soccer perspective?
Yeah, I think, look, when I leave my office at night, I see 400 or 500 kids on the training ground. So they started young here, right? They were with us when they were 14, 15 years old. They've known Paulo and Paulo's known them since they were much younger, and they've grown into the culture. And the reality is when they stepped on the field from day one, use Josh as an example. He starts opening day. That's not given, that's earned. It doesn't matter how old you are, but how you come to work in every day, and how you handle yourself as a professional matters, especially at our club. And I've said it over and over again, but the experience that we have in the locker room, the veterans and their ability to bring them along, put their arm around the shoulder when it needs to be there, be hard on them when they need to be hard on them, the accountability that's provided every single day, I think is a big reason they are where they are. And I think they'll tell you the same thing. We take a lot of pride in the fact that these academy kids are playing a big role, but they're playing a big role because they've earned it. I'm not in the business of just playing someone because they're from the academy. I'm in the business of winning games. And if I didn't feel they gave us the best chance to win a game, they're not going to play. And they know that. And more importantly, you go through ups and downs in a season, right? Especially as a young player, you get fatigued mentally and physically, to your point. But what they've had around them, the people, the culture, that's what's helped them get to where they are. And not to take away from what they've put in to get to where they are, because it is not easy. So the hope in moments like tonight and like all throughout the playoffs is that they enjoy it, that they enjoy these moments, that they continue to grow, and they're better for it.
Paulo, anything surprise you about the young players and how they've handled these situations?
Nothing surprised me at all, because like you just said, they've been with us for a few years now. So some of the guys, you just see Elijah kind of getting some minutes, and Josh, this whole season he's kind of been breaking out, but it's sudden to maybe the viewers that are only watching the games. But we've been in training with him for 3-4 years, so we've seen these kids develop into just great footballers and great people, grown men at this point. So for me, I take so much pride in it, because you do see some of them, some of the kids have longer learning curves, some of them shorter, some of them get it right away, some of them you have to kind of push a little bit harder. And at this point, especially this year, and even last year with someone like Jogo, these young kids, that they're doing so well, and they're growing up so fast. And I, as an older player, take a ton of pride in that aspect of it. Because it's 3-4 years in the making for a lot of these guys, and to see it kind of come to fruition, for some of them, like someone like Josh, it's probably still just the start. But for a lot of them, to get into the team, regularly, it's really, really exciting for me to see.
Paulo, can you talk a little bit about what winning tomorrow would mean for you, the club, and the city of Louisville?
I mean, I think it would mean everything. I think going back to what we were saying about the organization, and how the support that's given to us by John Neese and Chris Harding and the board. I mean, these are people that you want to win for, and then you mix that with the people in our locker room, with the staff and the training staff, the equipment staff, my teammates, myself. We care so much about one another. And that goes all the way up to the top, that winning is everything for us. And that's been, that's really not just this year. That's how it is around this club. And you really don't get those feelings of desperation to win unless you have the relationships that we've built with everybody in the club.
Danny, any comments on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think he said it perfectly. I would add, and to his point, our grounds crew,
Yeah,
to the people that cook our food every single day, the chef, Chris and Jess, our grounds crew, Aaron and Skitty, and a lot more of them. These are people that are invested emotionally. These are people that have given us everything that they can, the same thing that we try to do every day, and give back. And I think when you look at our club, it's a holistic approach. Every single person is involved, and everybody plays a massive role in us getting to this point. And so it doesn't matter who it is. We're all in this for one thing, and that's to win together, to be able to lift the trophy together. And that means everybody. That's not just the locker room. That's not just my staff. That's not just it's everybody. And I think that's something we take a lot of pride in at our club.
It looks like a good number of Louisville City fans are also going to make the trip over here. Can you talk about that aspect?
Yeah, incredible. I looked at the conference final last year. We had a good group traveling with us. And then you look at, let me tell you, it wasn't easy to get to San Antonio. So a lot of respect for our fans getting out here, for our families. But I think it's also a moment that nobody wanted to miss. And our hope is that we can give them something to celebrate tomorrow night.
Well, on the same note, Coach, playing away, last week, again, Marlon Marcino was talking about how good the environment was in the stadium and having the family playing in front of their families and in their community. How do you make an advantage of playing away? How do you deal with the team, or do you change your style of play, or how are you going to plan for tomorrow?
Yeah, so a couple of things. Number one, we've played at some difficult places this year with some difficult environments. When you look at Detroit, that is one of the hardest places to play in this league, in my opinion, and I've been in the West and the East. This environment looks to be a difficult environment to play in, but it's also a really good field. It's also good dimensions. It allows us to play the football that we want to play. So for us, it's sticking with our process. We don't change anything, and we certainly, we're up for any moment, whether it be at home or on the road. You know, we spent the time this preseason being on the road the entire preseason because one of my main goals and the staff was to make sure that we improved our away record. I thought that was one area we needed to improve from last year. We spent all preseason on the road, and this year we've had a better record on the road than we did last year. So small improvements, but you try to do it anywhere you can. And again, you know, we've shown that we can win on the road in this league. And tomorrow is just another opportunity to do that in a difficult environment that, again, I respect. At least watching on TV, it looks like it's a lot of fun to be in the stands.
Any other questions?
Coach, I'd like your personal thoughts on Wilson Harris. He's leading the team in goals, 15 on the season so far. What is it that makes him such a dangerous player?
Yeah, I'd say first and foremost, his work rate is tremendous. His ability to find himself in good spots to score as many goals as he has obviously been important. It is certainly not easy to integrate into a new group the way that he did from day one. It was almost seamless. And I think, again, it goes back to it's a testament to the players that we're returning, the culture that we have here, but then the player to come in and buy into that environment. And so he's a dangerous player. He's got good pace. He's good in the box. And I think most importantly for me, he works his tail off defensively.
Sean Tosh, first team accolades. Thoughts on him?
Yeah, Tosh has been a massive piece of this club for many years now. You know, we're certainly not surprised at the performances that he's had this year. He's a rock in the back. He's calm. He's humble. And, you know, there's a reason he gets the accolades that he does. I think a lot of people see it. And then when you look at his ability to put the ball in the back of the net this year for us, it's been impressive, and he's done a really good job.
Hello, this one's for you. Apparently, you guys have 500 Louisville City fans that have traveled all the way here to watch you. What does that mean to have such dedicated people backing you at the most important game of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's terrific. It's great that they're all willing to travel and support us like that. You know, for us, it's probably going to be very needed, you know, in an environment like this, and to have a section that's filled out with Louisville fans will be great for us and exciting for us. So we're very thankful for all of them that made the trip.
Jonathan Check from the Striker. First for Danny, obviously this is a team that you've never faced before in San Antonio, and so you're maybe having to do even more research than you usually would ahead of a game. Trying to sort of figure out San Antonio's style, its strengths and weaknesses. Are there any ways that you've found it to be a little more difficult, specifically for SAFC compared to other teams before?
No, I would say, you know, similar to before, our process didn't change at all. You know, by obviously Sunday night, I think it was, we had a clear idea of what we needed to do and prepare for the week. We'd obviously been tracking it. We didn't just start on the Sunday, you know what I mean? We started to look at both teams that were in the other conference final. And again, while you don't see them as much, to your point, it can make it a little bit more difficult, but the people that I have around me to help with preparation make things a lot easier from that standpoint. So as I've said before, we know we're playing against a difficult opponent, a well-coached opponent, and but I do feel our group is well prepared.
And now shifting to Paulo, for San Antonio, this is its first USL Championship final. Obviously, this is nothing new to you and the team. You've been here. This is now your fourth time. You've won the title twice before. What does that previous experience do for you guys? Does it give you more confidence, more pressure? How does it affect your mentality?
I mean, I think it's always good to have experience in a final like that. In terms of affecting our mentality, you know, not much. It's a new season, and though there's quite a few of us that have been here before, you know, again, this is a completely different year. It's a completely different team. It's, you know, it's a new opponent. It's you know, a new staff. It's a lot of first times for us as well. So it's good to have the experience of the other three finals, but you know, this is, you know, there's definitely some of those experiences we'll share with some of the younger guys and help bring them up. But again, it's still you know, a lot to do tomorrow night.
And of the last two USL Championship finals that have been contested, The Western Conference team has won both of them, even on the road. And obviously, you guys were on the wrong side of one of those in 2019. Beyond trying to win this for your fans and for the city of Louisville, is there any part of you that feels like maybe you're having to defend the pride of the entire Eastern Conference as well, trying to show that they're not falling behind or anything?
No, I haven't looked at it that way, and I'm pretty much focused on defending the pride of Louisville City. I don't have too much pride in the East in general, just mostly in Louisville City. So I'm just going out there for that.
With that, we will wrap up. I want to thank Danny Cruz and Paulo Del Piccolo again for your time, and good luck tomorrow evening.
Thank you.